This is my peer review for Rebecca Leonard's TPAC lesson plan. Before I start with going through the rubric, I wanted to point out that if you went to Blackboard and went under Module 7 and clicked on Readings and Resources, there were a few templates available for you to use, so you would not have had to create your own. If you were doing a reading lesson plan there, if you clicked on this right here, you could get to templates for that lesson plan. If you're in a program of study, you could have clicked on General Lesson Plan Templates. Underneath there, the link would have opened up one for you. And in your case, since you did a 3rd grade classroom lesson plan, I would propose you used this one to do your TPAC lesson plan assignment on. Okay, now I'm going to go back into your rough draft. Also, before I get started going down the different elements of the rubric, I was really confused about you're having a lot of, writing in the beginning, all of this, and then you get to your lesson plan, and then you have some more writing at the end. I'm not sure if you wanted to kind of combine your writing to come up with your complete rationale for why you chose the elements in your lesson plan, the technology elements in your lesson plan. In the beginning, this first page of writing, it doesn't really connect with your rationale for your TPAC lesson. It just seems like you're explaining why technology is good to use in the classroom. So I'm not sure if you want to get rid of this part or somehow take key elements of this section, this first page, and add it to your rationale on the last page. So it seems to me like you need to combine it in some way because it's disconnected. It's not really talking about why you use the technology that you did in your lesson plan. It's two different schools of thoughts going on here. In the beginning, you're talking about why technology is great, and in the end, it just seems like, well, in this section under rationale statement, it seems like there is just a lot of quotes about technology, and it does not flow, for lack of a better term. The two different writings that you have attached to this lesson plan do not connect to what you have in the middle. You just need to somehow put it together to create or to show the teacher what you're thinking about or what you were thinking about when you created your lesson plan. So now I will work my way down the rubric for the lesson plan. The first section was connection among content, pedagogical approach, and technology. Okay, this is where I understand that this is a 3rd grade classroom, and in a 3rd grade classroom you have to do several content areas. The teacher leads out in several content areas, but I wasn't quite sure what you were teaching, or if maybe you wanted to narrow it down to one content area. You talk about the lesson from maybe your English class for the 3rd grade, or maybe your math class for the 3rd grade, or social studies and science. Just pick one content area and do a lesson for that one content area in 3rd grade, because you don't have any of the North Carolina Standard Course of Study essential standards or any Common Core standards, so I'm not sure what you're trying to do in your lesson. And at this point, it just looks like the breakdown of a day. There's no real lesson plan. So I would have to give you below proficient, and that's only because I don't see what the content is what your actual lesson plan is. If it's math and you're doing the number system, or you're trying to teach how to multiply 2-digit numbers, that would be your content. Pedagogical approach. how you're going to teach it, which be your technology. What technology are you going to put into that lesson to teach those students the content, which would be the technology part. So I don't see that in this lesson plan. And again, maybe if you go back and use one of the templates that the teacher put in on Blackboard for us to use and just focus on one content area for the third grade, that might help you better on your rubric or the lesson plan. The second area is rationale for instructional strategy/strategies. Again, I would have to put you at below proficient right now because I'm not. You haven't singled out one content area, so I can't. So there's no real rationale for what you're doing in the class. Focus on one, and then the rationale will come. What you're going to do, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it. Rubric for the TPAC lesson plan. The next area is appropriateness of technology for instructor use. And the 9 to 9:45 block here on your lesson plan, you're going to use the smartboard. And smartboard in and of itself is great. Hold on. Sorry, I had to pause. I needed to take a minute to change the color to kind of highlight this, which I totally just took it out. Smartboard. But during this 9 to 9:45 block is the first time that I see you using technology in the day. Yes. And it's great to have a smartboard, but the way you have it right now is just using it like a regular blackboard. The way it seems. I mean, you're not telling me that you built a program or you're using some type of interactive program to help the students see the sight words. Is it a game you created? I mean, smartboard is great, but it's not really showing the technology or the way you're using the technology. It just sounds like you're writing on the board. So I think you need to add to that, be it you found some website that's interactive or something of that nature. But essentially, again, it goes back to focusing on one content area. It's great that you have the smartboard, but focusing on one content area will help you build a better lesson plan. You also use the VoiceThread, which is technology. You might want to, I'm not sure how the technology, how VoiceThread is going to be used. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. So at this point, I would put you at below proficient on the appropriate use for technology. It's great that you have it there. It kind of seems like it's just thrown in there at this point, but it's fixable. And it's great because that leads to the next tab, which is appropriateness for technology for student use. VoiceThread is great. We did it in class, and it's easy for them to use. But again, in the lesson, are you just something for them to do, or is it a way for them to show you what you've taught them, a way to express their learning? How it's a little disconnected for me on the VoiceThread. Great that it's there. Great that they're putting their story on the picture, but is it really the best way for them to express their learning, or what is it that you're actually having them learn? Okay, the next section is alignment to state standards for content and computer skills. Again, focus on one content area in third grade. That's my suggestion, and everything else will kind of fall in place. Go to NC DPI. Let's see, NC DPI. Pull up. I feel like I'm running out of time. Go to that NC K-12 curriculum. Scroll down. Pick social studies or math. And standard courses study, go through it. And of course I can't find what I'm looking for right now. Essential standards for social studies, so that you did a third grade lesson plan, and it'll pull up what they need to know, or the strand, the essential standard and clarifying objectives. So this, let's just put that geography. Yeah, I mean, if you just pick that, find the absolute and relative locations of places within the local community and region. That could be your goal for the day, and you're going to build the lesson around helping the students meet that objective. So just revamp on the plan, on the content area that you want to choose. Go to NCDPI Essential Standard for whichever content, pick something, and build your lesson plan that way. At this point, complete list. I think the lesson plan is incomplete, so it would be below proficient. And it goes back to what I've said before. You need to pick a content area and build lesson plan from that point. Language and mechanics, there are a lot of grammatical errors, and I can send you what I have in hard copy. For instance, right here you would need to indent. There's a lot of things where you should put commas and they're not there. VoiceThread should be capitalized. Google Docs, the docs should be capitalized. I mean, there's different things throughout your writing that smart boards, the boards B would be capitalized, the rest of the word would be lowercase. So you need to work. There are a lot of grammar and punctuation errors in your written works, and I would definitely go back and look at that again. I will try to send you a copy of what I checked as I went through it and just email it to you. But if you have any questions, you can let me know. I mean, I think you have what it takes to get it done and have an excellent lesson. Just narrow it down on the content area, what you want the students to learn in that period. Check back at the blackboard, pick one of those templates, go to DPI, get the essential standard that you want, clarifying objective, and just go from there. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. But you're going to do great. You're going to do excellent.